Hey guys, welcome back to Spector Creative. I'm a Lego representation of Scott Toy Guru Neitlich. Yep, we're doing this old school style because this video is just going to be some images with my voiceover like we used to do back in the day. I want to talk about completing teams. Yep, something that's hugely important to fans of pretty much everything from G.I. Joe to Transformers to Marvel to DC to Star Wars. Star Wars has teams? Well, yeah. So with Marvel Legends, it's an easy example. Characters like Feral or Rachel Summers Phoenix are two characters that have been wanted to complete specific teams, and we're finally getting them. Shows that Hasbro and Disney and all them folks are paying attention to what fans want, right? Well, what about Star Wars? Star Wars has teams. Well, got the Empire and the Rebellion and, Conja Club. But what about the Cantina aliens? There's three types. Right? There's the Cantina aliens that are just scattered around the bar, the ones that were on set in London, and then there are the ones that are actually around the bar, like as opposed to at tables, and then there's the ones that are at booths. This is what I want to focus on, if you will. This is the team that needs to be completed. So much like Excalibur from the 1990s really needed that Rachel Phoenix figure, and we're finally getting her, we can now feel like this is complete on our shelf. So let's take a look at the booths. The first booth is what I call the Hammerhead booth. It's got three aliens, Hammerhead, Terminal Man, and a Godel. All right? So with this booth, we already have Hammerhead. We've had quite a few of him over the years. And we have had Terminal Man, or Trito Dwabwa, I think is his name. Is that something that 3PO says on Endor? Anyway, not important. So yeah, you can see from this behind-the-scenes shot, the Momodon is seeing it's a Godel, not this Godel, Philipian Travag. He's at a different table. We're going to get to him in a moment. But yes, there are three Godels in the Cantina. Two prominently seen and one not easy to see. So this is one of the prominent ones. We need him to finish that team. All right, what about the next table? The next table is the Lax Sivrak Dice Ibegon table, which also has the devil guy in the back. So, recreating it as toys. Now we have all three of these. We have Dice Ibegon, the tentacle, we have Labria, the devil character, and we have Lax Sivrak, the original wolfman or werewolf character. And Dice Ibegon came with Trinto Dabwa. And while we have Labria, who's been released a few times, it's actually Lax Sivrak who's incorrect. His shirt is not yellow, it's red. So we need a re-release in red with knees. Okay, next table. So this is an interesting one. It's got a Muftak, a Bith, Star Trek guy, and the one-eyed guy. So we already have Muftak, right? We got him in a two-pack with Cabe, even though they're never on screen together. And then, let's see, across from Muftak on the other side of the table is Mayo, the guy with one eye. Much like Lax Sivrak, though, he's incorrect. He's not in green and blue. Like Lax Sivrak, he's wearing red. Sometimes the lighting is hard to see, but if you look at the behind-the-scenes photos, yes, he should be wearing a red shirt. So let's keep going. This Biff that's in the middle there, and then there's Dejas Pur, who my friends and I always called Star Trek guy because he looked like a Star Trek alien. Great that we got a figure of him, but also incorrect. The jacket is totally wrong. He does not have a jacket like this. His jacket actually looks like this. His sleeves should be all tan. So, yeah, haven't quite gotten the correct version. And then finally, that Bith, meaning a member of the same species as Figrin Da'an, not a member of the band, despite the fact that the character's name was used on this 7-pack. So the character that is in the booth there, that's the band's manager. Notice he's wearing a different outfit. He's not wearing the band uniform, the black shirt, nor does he have an instrument. Same species, very different character. We could use some of the parts already. All right, next table. So this is the very first table we ever see in the first shot of the Cantina, which it should be noted, while it prominently shows the flathead alien dude here, you can see the other Wolfman behind him who was cut from the special edition. So yeah, he's in the very first shot of the Cantina, a character that was cut. So, all right, we already have Hemdazon. Is that this guy's name? Yeah. And next to him, we have the Horn guy, and then a guy in a hood, Brainiac, and the Wolfman. Some have been done. Well, sort of. Okay, well, Bim Von's done has been done, and he's actually been re-released because he's been released close enough. And then next to him, though, in the back, that guy with the mustache and the hood. All right, so this guy, not only has he never had a figure, he's actually a reuse of a different mask. So here we can see a close-up, right? So you've got kind of the scarred skin. He's got a big shaggy mustache and a hood. So he's wearing the same mask as that top middle one there, that Trento Dobla is wearing, the Terminal Man, which is actually a Frankenstein mask. We'll talk about that in a different video. So that same mask here, which was released as a figure here as Trento Dobla, is also used as the mustachioed alien in the back. They just put a mustache on him and put a hoodie on him. So, yeah, we do need a figure because he's at this booth, and we need to complete the booths. So, yeah, make this figure, Hasbro. All right, then next to the mustached dude called Fu Manchu on set, we have Brainiac, who we had a figure of him, and it's actually accurate. One of the few Cantina figures that's completely accurate. And then, of course, the other Wolfman was supposed to be shipped with the Cantina. We didn't hit that tier, but we are halfway there, because the lower half is the same as Jod Nod Norwad. So we already have his legs and his boots tooled up. They share the same lower half. So, hey, maybe we will still get him. All right, next table is the one we're going to return to with the Godel that we talked about before, right? How there's 3 Godels in the Cantina. 2 are seen. One's hard to see because he's behind Greedo in the reshoots. All right, well, we actually got this whole table. We have Philipian Trag. We have Miliunuth. Go look it up. And then you've got the guy with his back to the camera, who in other shots we can see is known as Ghostface, i.e. the character that inspired Scream. Okay, maybe not. What was it? Cole or something? Ellis Hellrot. There we go. All right. So, yeah, we've got him. The next table is the Duros table. This is a pain point because all these years and we've only gotten 1 Duros. And it took a fan request, a fan's choice to even get that. He could sure use some bending knees. So, yeah, we need his partner who sits next to him and is clearly seen. Plus, there's a 3rd Duros, again, behind Greedo in the reshoots. Really hard to see. But, yeah, there's a Greedo, there's a Godel, and there's another Mayo alien in the back. Now, I'm not going to focus as much around the bar. There's one I want to hit, though, because there are 2 Crocs. Neither have been done correctly as figures, but you've got the second Croc between Snaggletooth and the Plutonian. So there you go. We need the Godel. We need the Bith. We need the Duros. There are figures we need. We need mustached Fu Manchu Man. We need them to complete teams, to complete tables. We only have 1 complete table in the whole Cantina. Plus, there's also the Mos Eisley characters that were on set in England, which I've incorrectly said was on set in Tunisia. No, this was England. The reshoots were in Los Angeles, not the other way around. So there's still plenty to do, but I think if we focus as fans on the complete the booth teams, okay, every once in a while we want to ask them to throw in a Fly Guy or one of the other on set, but much like fans asked for Feral for years and really got behind that, this is how we can complete our Cantina. So everyone, all right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, a like, a subscription, and sharing it with your friends is appreciated. Best way to support this channel. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys next time here on Spector Creative.